First things first, involve the windows here on the train. Please do not dangle anything you'd like to bring home with you out those windows. That includes cameras, cell phones, selfie sticks, backpacks, hats, sunglasses, children, spouses, grandparents. Please keep everything you'd like to bring home with you inside the train at all times. Next order of business involves the central aisleway that runs up and down the length of the train. Under no circumstances should passengers be standing in, walking through, or crossing over the central aisleway while the train is moving. You're welcome to stand up in your seating areas, that's fine. We just ask that nobody's standing in, walking through, or crossing over the central aisleway while the train is in motion. And last but certainly not least, in the rare case of an emergency of any nature, please get my attention immediately, or the attention of Engineer Josh up at the front of the train, and we'll make sure to address the situation as quickly as we can. And with that, we'll get going. Josh, you can close those doors. All right, Josh, ramps are up. Doors are closed. Everyone is seated. You have highball.
Look at the little handle that actually controls it.
Alright, first things first, I'm going to come through the train to do a quick head count, so please keep the aisleway clear for me. Thank you.
Yeah, that seems fair. I mean, if you want to make it active, metabolizing souls on board. Yeah, and I can do a double check on the way. That'll be my number one. Alright, well, good luck. So, does this one work? I think so.
Look how it just gets steeper.
Conductor runs.
That's a great picture right there. Maybe something like that as a cover for a book, you know? Yeah, yours are gonna talk points.
All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome aboard the Broadmoor Manitou Pikes Peak Cog Railway. We have begun a journey of 8.9 miles that will eventually bring all of us to the very top of Pikes Peak, America's mountain. Standing at 14,115 feet above sea level, that's about 7,600 feet above our present location, or right around a mile and a half. This is the longest continuous cog railway track in the Western Hemisphere, and the highest in the entire world. So welcome aboard. To get things started, let's introduce our crew here. Up at the front of the train, in a little glass box, is Engineer Josh. Josh is going to get us up to the top of the mountain and back safely like he has many times before. Let's give him a nice warm welcome here, everybody. Woo! Ow, ow! My name's Quinn. I'll be your conductor for the day. It's my job to make sure this train runs on time. It's also my priority to make sure everybody is safe and comfortable, so if anyone has any concerns of any sort, please get my attention by any means possible, and I'll come address things with you. I'll also be pointing out a variety of natural and historical landmarks along the way, and if you have any questions about those, please keep them to yourselves. That is until the ride down the mountain, at which point I will come through the train to answer any questions anybody may have. This railroad has been in operation for over 130 years, since 1891. We've been operating continuously since then, with the sole exception of a 3-year period between 2017 and 2021, when we closed temporarily for a huge overhaul and rebuild. This involved purchasing 3 brand new trains from Switzerland, one of which you're on right now. We also replaced the entire track from the depot all the way up to the summit, and added extensive renovations to the depot itself. This rebuild was provided by the owner of the Broadmoor Hotel and the owner of the Cog Railway, a man named Phil Anschutz. Mr. Anschutz spent about $100 million of his own money to make sure this historic railway continues offering rides to people for generations to come. And with that, everybody, I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride at the mountain.
Taking enough pictures? Taking enough pictures?
Do you want to do this? I didn't think so.
Like this angle would be hard to hide even. You know? Are the ties for the track also metal now?
Yeah, they're all metal. They last about 3 times as long as wooden ties, about 30 years before needing to be replaced, whereas wooden ones need to be replaced every 10 years. And you'll also see kind of along the way in the middle, kind of coming up here, you're going to see one. There's these metal flop holes that extend out from the center rail, and those are anchored to the ground, and those basically anchor the track, so it keeps the track from sliding down the mountain.
Makes sense. I was thinking definitely with the weather conditions it would help and such here too. Because of the freeze and thaw and everything like that of
Yeah.
Everybody look to the left. Now the right. Now the other right. Oh, wait a second, that's not going to work very well. From now on, when I invite your attention out the train, I'll refer to the 2-seat side and the 3-seat side. Again, that is the 2-seat side and the 3-seat side. Coming up out the 2-seat side, right after this large boulder that we're about to pass, we'll see another boulder that has fallen and landed in the shape of a diamond. Just like a diamond on a playing card. If you look straight out the train and a little bit down, you'll see it out there right after this large boulder here.
You might want to look a little bit behind me. I'm kind of blocking your view.
Yeah.
And don't worry, if you ever miss anything on the way up, you always get a second opportunity on the way up.
Now, having been open for over 130 years has given us plenty of time to come up with some very creative names for things around here. Call that rock Diamond Rock. Diamond Rock, just like all the rocks we'll see from here on out, are a kind of rock known as granite. This particular body of granite that we call Pike's Peak formed about 1 billion years ago when magma churned up from the core of the earth and cooled over the course of thousands of years, about 20 miles below the surface of the earth. After a long, arduous history of tectonic activity, which included uplift and erosion, this body of granite ended up where we see it today. Now, Pike's Peak granite is known for its particular pinkish, orangish color. That's caused by a relatively high level of feldspar found in the mixture. All granite, no matter where you find it around the world, is made up of 3 primary minerals. These minerals are feldspar, mica, and quartz.
Oh yeah. At a point you may want to shut it.
How far in does it start getting colder?
Sorry?
How far in does it start getting colder?
I mean, it kind of a little bit over time, but it really starts getting cold once you get above tree line, which is about a little less than 3/4 of the way up. Because obviously,
Now, coming up again out the 2-seat side, we'll see our first waterfall of the day. This waterfall is named after 2 best friends who escaped from an orphanage when they were children and ran into the forest in this area and lived here for many years. Their names were Rose and Emma, which is why we call this waterfall Rose Emma Falls.
Little bridge.
Now, don't worry, everybody on the 3-seat side, we got another waterfall coming up just for you. This next one is called Minnehaha Falls. Get your cameras ready, it's actually higher than Niagara Falls.
Right in front of us. Behind the tree.
It's got the elusive Pike's Peak flamingo on top of the...
Yeah, I saw it.
It showed up a couple months ago. I don't know who put it there, but it's fine. I like it.
That's what I was wondering, if it
Now,
was
before
private
anybody
land or
accuses me
something.
of disseminating fake news, remember, I said higher, not taller. We're at about 8,300 feet above sea level, which means we're about 8,000 feet higher than Niagara Falls.
I don't know if it's...
I'm sorry, everybody, I'm contractually obliged to tell that joke.
Technically, the strip of land that the railroad is on is actually owned by the Cog Railway, but the rest I think is all public land owned by it's part of Pike National Forest. So
Makes sense. And where's the hotel that the same person owns that owns the railway?
there used to be a hotel that we'll be seeing shortly, but it's no longer there. It's just a sign. Oh, you Are you talking about the Broadmoor Hotel?
Yeah.
Oh, that's down in Colorado Springs. It's kind of a little bit south of Manitou Springs. It's hard to describe, but it's like a 5-star, 5-diamond hotel.
That's the direction we're heading back home, so might have to go by and see it.
Upper Minnehaha to Maine.
Dispatch, train 26, rolling through Minnehaha.
Now, if you haven't already, I do highly recommend introducing yourselves to the people sitting directly across from you. Maybe get to know their hometown, their favorite restaurant, maybe even their social security numbers. The reason I suggest this now is because we're about to enter our first 25% grade of the day. And if you slide out of your seat into the lap of the person sitting across from you, it's nice to know their name first.
That's where our seats are nice.
25% grade means it's for everyone.
That's where our seats are nice because we don't have to work. Exactly.
And the average grade along our track is 16%. Now, this particular hill that we're climbing up now is known around these parts as Son of a Gun Hill. Back in the old days, we still had steam locomotives on the tracks. The firemen, who were the people who shoveled the coal to keep the boilers running, they would have to shovel that coal 3 times faster than usual just to make it to the top of this hill. And when they did, they would often look at each other and in between ragged gasps of breath say, "This hill is a real son of a gun." But thanks to modern engineering technology, those kinds of outbursts are a thing of the past.
Dispatch train 19 rolling through Windy Point.
I always like to tell people we're like a roller coaster that always goes up, but if we were ever to go down like a roller coaster, no one would be having any fun.
Yeah.
And maybe some of you have started to wonder if we ever get rocks on the tracks. It does happen occasionally. As a matter of fact, just a few days ago, when Josh and I were heading up this section here, Josh noticed a rather large boulder that had fallen in the way, so he stopped the train. He and I rolled up our shirt sleeves and hopped out, and while Josh held the boulder up, I managed to prop it up with 2 smaller rocks to keep it in place. I hope it's where we left it. Oh yes, there it is out the 2-seat side here, looking nice and stable.
I definitely lifted that rock.
Yes, you definitely for sure did.
But no, there are other points where it does remind me of a roller coaster.
Yeah, it does, especially when we're on the 25% grades.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Dispatch train 4 over Windy Point.
Now, for around 34 years, a hotel operated here at the head of Ingleman Canyon. Starting as a modest single-room log cabin in the 1880s, it quickly grew in popularity when the owner turned it into a lunch stand for hikers and travelers. When the Mekong Railway opened, business boomed until the hotel eventually boasted 22 guest rooms, a lavish banquet hall, a ballroom, a railroad stop, a post office, like any mountain hotel, or at least any respectable mountain hotel, a single-lane bowling alley. Called the Halfway House Hotel, hikers and travelers could stay for the low, low price of $10 a week. That is until the hotel burnt to the ground in 1926. You can see where I once stood out the 3-seat side here. It's this large, flat, gravelly area that we're about to pass. You'll see old bricks strewn around on the ground. and a sign that says halfway house at about window height.
You can also find a picture of the Halfway House Hotel in its heyday online if you search for the name.
People live up here?
Welcome to the town of Ruxton Park. Population 0. In the early 1900s, the city of Colorado Springs built this hydroelectric plant here in Ruxton Park. It's actually one of the oldest functioning hydroelectric plants this side of the Mississippi River. It still powers around 200 homes in Manitou Springs. Now, up until about a year ago, the caretaker of the electric plant lived out here full time with his family in that white house that we just passed. Now, they had 2 young children, and they decided to move out of Ruxton Park because they had to drive them to school every day, which is not that big of a deal until you consider the dirt road that you can see out 3 seats out here. We call that the caretaker's private driveway. It is 60 miles long.
It's about an hour and a half one way.
Wow.
Can you still drive up that?
I'm sorry?
Could someone still drive up that?
They do so regularly. It's not a public road. It's often the City of Colorado Springs Utilities Company will come and check on all of the hydroelectric dam. And also it wraps around to the 10 different lake/reservoirs that are on this side of Pike's Peak. They're all used for Colorado Springs drinking water. So that's part of the caretaker's job, is to go and check on those reservoirs to make sure that everything's in tip-top shape with them.
Now we're currently rocketing through the heart of Pike National Forest. Pike National Forest is about 1.4 million acres large, about the size of the state of Delaware. It was established in the early 1900s, about 15 years after the purchase and construction of the railroad. So we are on kind of an unusual strip of private land winding its way through what is otherwise public land. Pike National Forest is also home to a wide variety of wild animals, many of which we can see out the train windows occasionally. Some of the creatures to keep your eyes peeled for out there are mule deer, porcupines, moose, coyotes, foxes, Bigfoot, black bears, mountain lions, squirrels, chipmunks, and many, many different kinds of birds. Of course, the key word is wild animals. I can't guarantee any animal sightings today, unfortunately. But do keep your eyes peeled. They live out here. Now, if you do see any creatures out the windows and feel up to it, try to point them out to the folks sitting around you. I'm sure we'd all appreciate seeing some little creatures out there today. beautiful, smooth trees around us here are aspen trees. Aspen trees draw crowds from around the universe every September when their leaves turn a vibrant golden color. Another little fun fact about the aspens, they only seem to be individual trees, but they're actually connected to each other via their underground root system. That means when you're looking at a grove of aspens like this one here, you're probably looking at a single massive organism. As a matter of fact, scientists recently thought that the largest single organism on planet Earth was a grove of aspens in Utah, 106 acres large, but a 2,200 acre large honey fungus in eastern Oregon snatched that title away from the aspen trees. Another little fact about them, if you're out in the wild in this area and in need of some sunscreen, all you got to do is find an aspen tree.